South African sugarcane farmers will be contributing 640 million over the next 5 years towards programs aimed at supporting small-scale grower development and to ensure greater transformation within the industry. Joining me is the chairman of SA Cane Growers, Rex Talmage. Rex, how many small-scale farmers do you have as members?
Lisa, well over half of our 20,200 farmers, growers, are our members, and we represent their interests in the sugar industry.
Now, 640 million over 5 years, that's quite an amount for an industry that's gone through tough times. Very briefly, how is the industry doing?
Lisa, the sugar industry is still under severe threat, and this is essentially due to a confluence of simultaneous factors that have taken place over recent seasons. I could just quickly run through some of them, or the main ones. Firstly, there's been weak protection against the dumped and oversupplied world market sugar that's entered South Africa, primarily from Brazil and Thailand. And this essentially displaces South African homegrown sugar, which ends up being exported onto the dumped surplus world market at a significant loss and essentially exporting jobs. Secondly, the industry's dealt with an unprecedented drought. There were 3 consecutive years of drought, which are the worst in recorded history, and unfortunately very little financial assistance from government in dealing with that. Thirdly, the plunging world sugar prices. Fourth was the introduction of the HPL, the sugar tax, and this has resulted in reducing the local market demand for sugar from about 1.6 million tons to 1.2. And the industry lost approximately 1.5 billion rand in the first 12 months of the tax being introduced. Fifth, there's Eswatini sugar that's entering the SA market duty-free as per the SACU customs arrangements, common market. And this also displaces SA-grown sugar, ending up on the dumped world market at a loss. And now sixthly, and most recently, the introduction of COVID-19, which we all understand what the challenges there are.
To get back to the programs, this is part of a master plan. Just elaborate on that.
Lisa, the master plan essentially was initiated in July 2019 by Ministers Abraham Patel and Togo Didiza. In essence, it was to prevent an unmanaged decline of the sugar industry and the associated socioeconomic catastrophe that would bring in deep rural areas, often without any alternative employment opportunities for people. Essentially, it's also a social compact between all stakeholders in the entire value chain. And it's a package deal with reciprocal commitments by all stakeholders, where everyone's bringing something to the party. There have been 7 task teams formed, and each one of these are going to delve into the intricate details of different aspects forming the master plan. And it's aimed to deliver it as firstly stabilize and then move into developing a diversified and sustainable industry. Small-scale growers will form a foundational role going forward, and we want to ensure the synergistic participation of both small-scale growers and large-scale growers alongside one another.
So what are some of the interventions you are planning?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. The objective is to promote greater transformation, development, and sustainability of the small-scale growers sector. It's due to the significant socioeconomic multiplier that it has in deep rural areas across the provinces of KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga. The grower contribution, as you mentioned, is 640 million rand over 5 years. And this is part of a 1 billion rand industry initiative. So the balance will be funded by the milling sector of the industry. It's important to note that this will be over and above the 766 million rand already invested in black small-scale growers over recent seasons, of which commercial farmers themselves contributed 493 million rand. Firstly, there'll be a preferential price paid to small-scale growers, and it's going to be important to obviously to mitigate against any kind of capture where third parties, service providers and contractors can capture any of this, and where the intended beneficiaries must receive what is aimed to target towards them. There'll be training programs, and these will be in the spheres of agronomic, basic and advanced financial skills, leadership, entrepreneurial skills, governance at co-op level and board directorship. And then there will be seed cane plots planted, delivering the newest varieties, genetically true to type material, which will be disease-free and grown and supplied close to the growers' localities.
Well, that was the chairman of SA Cane Growers, Rex Talmadge.